Well, when catastrophes strike, children are almost always the worst affected. Conflict, violence, natural disasters all have long-lasting impacts that reverberate for years and oftentimes generations to come. And that is certainly the case in eastern Libya, where more than 16,000 kids are currently displaced following that catastrophic flooding that took place a couple of weeks back. That number is according to UNICEF, and it's difficult to imagine, isn't it? Can you imagine what these children are going through, how they are coping psychologically? Well, I find it really hard to imagine that. Look at this young boy watching over his destroyed city as rescue teams search through the rubble. It's likely that his loved ones are stuck underneath or even dead. And this kid, standing amid the debris, mud reaching over his ankles as he looks on at what his home has now become. Evidently, he's dazed, overwhelmed and sad. And there are thousands of them going through the same horror. Not only do they have to reckon with the loss of their homes and their lives as they once knew it, but some have had to carry their dead parents, siblings, cousins and friends. Some people have reportedly counted up to 25 family members floating by the coast of what was this once idyllic seafront. While we still don't know how many children have been orphaned, judging by the number of those killed, it is likely that they are in the thousands too. One teenager miraculously survived the floods and recounted the harrowing moments when his home was engulfed by the torrential waters, resulting in the heartbreaking loss of 8 of his family members.
No words can describe the sadness and despair in my heart. We were having dinner together at the time, and suddenly they were swept away by the flood. I still can't believe that it really happened.
And not all wounds, of course, are visible, even if these kids manage to make sense of what's happened to them eventually. It's very possible that the trauma and shock could blur reality with their imagination, making them highly susceptible to anxiety, to depression, perpetual fear and other psychological impacts. Tragedies like Libya's floods create a vicious and dysfunctional cycle for kids, a deadly trap that robs them of their most precious moments. And that's what childhood should be about, those precious moments. I wanted to end this by showing you an image that struck me. Here you can see muddy handprints that look like the size of kids' hands, don't they? Covering a wall in what is now likely a destroyed house. Amid the pain, the loss and the heartache, this, the only semblance of normality, is when kids are being kids.